This is exactly how you take home over $20,000 per month in 2023. I wanted to switch it up for you guys a little bit and show more of an interview format. You can see how myself and my good friend Luke, how we did it, so hopefully you can do it too. Thanks so much.
Just tell me a little bit about like your high school experience potentially, and then what made you want to pursue entrepreneurship, and then at which age did you say entrepreneurship's a thing?
Honestly, from an early age, like even from like middle school, when I started to realize, like I started to question a lot of stuff about like what direction we're being led in through school. For me, it was realizing like there's got to be more. There's got to be like something else bigger that we can push towards, and like a more meaningful path we can follow.
So was there a moment when you realized that you were being put in a system?
It goes back to middle school. Like my brother and my older cousin, they're both like probably 4 years older than me. I started asking them, like, well, let's say, I did get straight A's in middle school. What would happen next? And they were like, well, these grades don't mean anything. And so for me, like, that was the point where I knew like something was wrong. I was like, so you're telling me all this work, all this homework, all these tests, all these quizzes that I'm doing in middle school aren't going anywhere in a meaningful direction. To me, like, meaning is what we're here for. Purpose is what we're here for. We're here to follow a direct path that leads to purpose and something with a bigger meaning. And so for me, doing a bunch of this work, and like every day we're going to school, like working, doing tests, quizzes, homework, and it wasn't leading us to like a bigger purpose, was like an immediate red flag for me.
You felt like the work that you were doing was meaningless.
Yeah.
Right? So at which point were you felt like after my freshman year of high school, my sophomore year was the same year.
Yep.
My junior year was the same year. The year after that, my senior year was like, I didn't really feel like I was learning anything new after that. Like I felt like I broke past, this is what there is to know here. It almost just felt like a repeat year. Again and again and again.
You do it once and you're like, okay, what's the next step? And then you're just kind of put back in the cycle.
It's just the same thing. I'm learning the same thing a little bit different way. Right? And it doesn't feel like I'm learning any skill sets that will really benefit me.
You're not expanding in the pace and like the size that you would think you should, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And so like after going through that process, going to college, did you feel like college was the right next step for you?
I pretty much was like, okay, I'm going to go try school in Colorado, give it some time, see what I can create out of this, and see what, how it affects me and how it helps me grow. And immediately, it's the exact same as high school. It's not much different. And so immediately I'm like, okay, this obviously isn't for me exactly like I expected. So I was a semester in. I was like, okay, let me not waste any more of my dad's money, because obviously I was fortunate enough to where my dad would at least help me for the first year or two. So from there, I kind of took ownership of my own ability after that.
You got to bet on yourself.
Exactly. Bet on yourself at some point in time. First step for me was like, how can I create business? How can I create revenue to where my parents don't have to worry about me? How can I pay for myself to where I'm not a liability? And so one of the things was a moving company. I had got an idea from one of my friends from high school who was doing great in a moving company in Louisiana. His name's Jake Walker. His company was a Tiger in his truck, and he did great. I kind of stepped into it. I'm like, hey, like, show me the ropes. Let me see what this is about. Like, I want to kind of create this into something more, because I believed if I created something from scratch and then all of a sudden made it to where this is a very high value business, other people would respect it and my doors would open naturally. That was a cool realization that even something so simple can become such a vehicle. And so from there, I watched doors open. Like, as soon as I started that moving company, another opportunity came up, random opportunities, like, hey, you should come do some roofing jobs, some roofing sales for me. And he's like, you would kill it. Like, with your background, you played sports, you're obviously a hustler, you're willing to do what it takes, like, come do some roofing jobs. Started doing that, and all of a sudden I have like 3 sources of revenue off of nothing. And so that was like powerful for me to watch, like, what I knew I could do come to fruition.
And I think so. You learned an important lesson that took me a little bit to learn, which was simple scales, fancy fails, right? Because I went in and I tried to start an app, right? That was like, and I had no skills, right? I went in, I was like, okay, pitch this app idea, try to start an app, and I had no skills for that. Where you went in and you started, okay, what's something that I can do? What's something that's simple that I can scale with what I have in front of me and what I know.
Just wanted to say, if you're enjoying the interview, I dropped the full hour-plus version in my Discord. It's a private community full of other people looking to achieve the same things. It's absolutely free. It is application only. So if you want to apply to get a chance to see the whole interview, drop down below.
You don't necessarily need a plan And I think that the biggest lesson I've learned over the last couple of years is if you cannot focus in on the business, the opportunity, you can focus in on the skill set, then you can start building those skill sets. And then you just logically put one foot in front of the other. You just going out and doing stuff and trying things. Like when I was in high school, I did a car detailing business. So I went out and that opened the door where I met Alex because I went and knocked on his door trying to wash his car.
That's how I got into the solar industry. Doors just opened because me putting myself out there.
If we just continue on this path of taking massive action, we're going to be like, I got to learn that skill set. I didn't even know how to learn that skill set.
Exactly.
Right? I thought I could drop ship myself out to the Bahamas and chill. And then I realized, there's skill sets behind this. And then when I found sales, I was like,
I was thinking, maybe like I'm doing so many moving jobs. Somebody's going to notice that I'm doing a moving job for. They're going to offer me an opportunity. That was like kind of my mindset. Doors open like that way. Doors open completely different way. So I'm doing those 3 jobs. I have the moving company. I'm doing part-time at the U-Haul to get discounts on my trucks. I'm doing roofing sales door to door a little bit. And as soon as I kind of got into roofing sales, a family friend had reached out. And they were like, it was like my dad's best friend's son. His name's Harlan Basier. And he was doing solar in Orlando, Florida. And he was like, dude, like you're absolutely grinding right now. Like you have such a platform to where you're making connections with so many homeowners, doing moving jobs. You're learning the skill of door to door and sales with roofing. You're obviously a hustler. Like, bro, imagine if you put that into something like solar. Have you heard about it? And I was like, no, like what the heck is solar? Like I have no idea, not a clue. And so he's like, every deal you close, you get roughly like $5,000 for. And to me, I was working like 3 jobs, like hustling, like really getting after it, like early mornings, late nights, like barely making $5,000 a month. And so he was like, dude, $5,000 a deal, like that's it. And so I was like, $5,000 a deal, like I could easily go get 1 deal a month.
Yeah,
like that's easy. That replaces all 3 of my streams right now. Like, okay, then like I do 1 more deal a month, and all of a sudden I've just 2x'd my income. Like that is, to me, is the simplicity of what blew my mind. And so from there, I was like, okay, like tell me more. Like what else? Like what do I have to do? Pretty much. Like I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Like I don't really care. Like I'm 20 years old. Like I had just turned 20 at the time, and I'm like, dude, like what do I gotta do? I don't care. Like I truly don't. Like
because we have so much time.
Exactly. And like people don't, like that's the beauty in what me and you have done is like, dude, like we understand that. Like we were willing to fail time and time again to make what we wanted happen, because we knew if we failed for 5 years straight, we're still 25, and we just experienced 5 years of opportunity and trial and error and action and failure, that we'd be savages in 5 years. But people don't realize that. And so for me, it was like, do I need to come out to Orlando? Is there something I can do in Colorado? Like what do I have to do?
So some people might say, oh, you had a family friend that guided you in this direction, right? That family friend would not have reached out to you unless you took action, right? So it's like when you start kind of going down that path or journey, from my experience, when you actually just say, hey, I'm going to do this, there'll be the people that doubt you, and there'll be the people that are watching you that you don't know are watching you.
Yes.
Right? And that person will see you if you continue to do it for a long enough period of time. Right? So it's like you started doing this stuff, people start talking, let's just say 70% of them hate, and then, or let's just say 99 people hate, and then that one person will see you and say, this is a young, hungry kid. I want to help this person out. So you thought of this as, I'm going to go fail until I'm successful, right? And you thought about it through a long-term time horizon. And I was having, a conversation with Alex, and he, paraphrasing it, he was pretty much, like, hey, do you want to become a millionaire in 90 days? Like 1 in 1,000th chance? Or do you want to become a millionaire in 10 years guaranteed? I was like, guaranteed. Like, let's make this thing happen. He's like, cool. You need to do the boring work. You need to work on the skill sets. You need to, start taking actions on, the things that you can invest in yourself. And then the one thing no one can take away from you, people can get lucky and get into an opportunity where they have, a vehicle that can take them, make them super rich. That doesn't happen a lot of the times. But if you focus in on building, in my opinion, if you focus in on building those skill sets for yourself, then no one can take away those skill sets from you.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like being able to think through, okay, the next 10 years, what skill sets do I need to be the person that I want to become? And then from there, okay, if I take action.
I had the commitment to the process and not the results. Because I knew it would come eventually. Like whatever happened, like if you think that I knew that a solar opportunity was going to appear in Florida when I was in Colorado, you would have been out of your mind. I had no idea. Like I used to laugh about it back then. It's like, what the hell am I doing in Orlando? like it's just kind of random. And so from there, like if you thought I was going to be able to get an opportunity in Austin, my hometown, and live with my family for no rent, like that was never a thought process either. It just kind of opened up for me. From there, that business failed, and like I kind of took ownership and like, okay, let me see what I can make work by myself. From there, that's kind of where things get interesting and things start to cook. We kind of looked around, tried to make as many connections as we could, see what the best opportunity for us was. There was maybe me and 2 or 3 other guys. Just everything comes around full circle. We had always kind of wanted to take ownership in ourselves and the opportunity, and out of nowhere, we find like the best possible partnership we could have ever wanted. Nick Brigus and Dennis, and they owned Contractors Creative, and so they had like a 7-figure marketing agency.
This part's so great.
It's crazy. And so we made that connection. They had been running this online agency, this marketing agency, where they produce leads for companies all over the country. It doesn't matter the company. 6 months before we started with Simple Solar, we almost bought their campaign for them to produce leads for us. At the time, it didn't make sense, so we just continued with Simple Solar, ripped doors. All of a sudden, opportunity arises again. Nick and Dennis had realized their leads were phenomenal in the solar industry. And so like, man, like this is crazy. Like I wonder if we can really like dial in. Them being young entrepreneurs, they had the same mindset. How can we take ownership in our ability? It was crazy divine timing. Like it kind of clicked. I'm like, this is exactly what we're missing. I want to be that people person. I want to connect to people. I want to be a leader in this game and like truly give people a path and an opportunity, but I don't have the software and the marketing and like the systems built behind me. I need somebody to partner with and lift that weight off my shoulders, and Nick and Dennis were the guys. And that's when Texas Standard Solar was born.
It's like you went through so many failures, and then you got momentum, you lost momentum, you got momentum, you lost momentum, you kept betting on yourself. And I think a lot of the people, you know, listening to this are very like-minded in terms of how we think. And it's the reason I like sales as a starting path, because there's so many different skill sets you can learn. Sales is something that you can pick up, and then you can also make a lot of money in the process to be able to say, I'm going to take a season of 2, 3, 5 years where I'm going to learn the skill set. I'm going to stack up, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then I'm going to take everything I learned. And I'm saying this because people are probably like, why don't I just start my own thing right now? Do it. Like go for it. Plenty of people are successful doing that, right? But if, like, going back to what I said earlier, if you want to guarantee success over a long enough time horizon, so if you want to go, I want to be a millionaire in 90 days versus I want to be a millionaire, you know, in 10 years guaranteed, 1 in 1,000th chance, you know, guaranteed shot, then it's like, okay, how do you create the most leverage for yourself quickly? And that's being able to learn from someone else, earn at the same time, and then stack a bunch of cash so you have that ability to go on the offense after you've found kind of your path. So that's, I mean, obviously that's what's been working for us. So it is, you know, something that's cool. So Luke, if you could go back in time and you could talk to yourself 2-3 years ago when you first dropped out of college, when you first started this, what advice would you give yourself?
I think the biggest key in the simplest terms is fall in love with the process, and detaching from the results is the simplest version, but as well, continuing to ignore the outside noise. In this day and age, like social media, your friends, your people you went to high school with, even your family, it's like everybody's got something to say because they've never taken the path you've taken. That was one of the biggest realizations for me not going to school, is like, I'm learning from people that aren't doing what I want to do. So why would I pay money to do that? Why don't I get paid to learn from people doing what I want to do, which is become massively successful and be a multimillionaire? And so when you start something like this, when there's no guarantee, we live in a society where everybody wants that instant gratification and that safety net. And so when you step into something that's not safe, there's no guarantee, there's also no limit, people question.
I had everyone tell me that I was wrong, and a handful of people say, this is the path, you're doing the right thing, keep on doing it. There's a reason why there's the top 1%. It's because they do what the other 99% don't. And it's tough, man. When it's your parents or someone close to you, it's tough.
It is.
But you have to really objectively look at the situation and say, are they doing what I want to do?